What's the weather tell us today?
Ooh, like right, the weather station or the
I don't,
models?
I don't know. We're sitting right next to it. Is it outputting data as we speak?
It is. I ghetto rig this for in the winter.
What's the story with this handle of yours?
The YouTube channel is Central Idaho Mountain Weather, and I kind of been scheming this for years now, and kind of put it into play this past fall. But it's basically just me geeking out in weather every morning as I normally would do, and I just want to share it with everyone in the valley, whether you're going out to your car to drive 5 minutes to work or going to play in the mountains. Just give you a really localized look at what's happening in our area because it's so much different than everywhere else.
Oh, totally. I mean, when you live in the tight mountains like we have, I mean, it's amazing how quickly weather changes from place to place. So let me ask you this. You work for Sun Valley Guides all winter. Does Zach find a ton of value in what you're bringing to the table here?
Uh, Lily, the office manager, wants to have it on the website, the weather
Ooh,
page.
ooh,
Yeah,
she's a smart cookie.
I think Zach thinks it's pretty cool too.
Do you find that the uniform is quite an incentive to being there? Because that's definitely noticeable to me.
Yeah.
Like, take this jacket, for instance.
Yes, the big red we call this.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. Look, we don't believe it or not, we don't make a lot of money as mountain guides.
sure.
It's definitely like it's a
Pa
very hit or
passion,
miss.
passion doesn't pay.
Yeah. So it's always appreciated when your employer hooks you up with gear.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of techie outdoor gear out there that's pretty unattractive too, though.
That's true.
Back in grammar school, would you like, get the home VHS recorder out and do your own like green screen and like do weather at home, like you wanted to be the next Al Roker or something like that?
Absolutely not.
Where did this,
Was
where's the birth of this then?
it's still hard for me to listen to myself when I look back to make sure I actually did everything right with editing in the morning.
Oh
And I really don't like presenting in public. I
yeah.
think a
So
lot of that's kind of from recently finding out I might have dyslexia, so everything doesn't really go smoothly out
wait a
of my
minute.
mouth.
You've gotten this far in life and only now you're figuring this out?
Someone let me down in the past with letting me know about that. Never was really into the weather, but I love skiing, so I like always wanted to know when it was going to snow. And I really got involved with the weather from guiding because I realized how much the snow actually changes when it hits the ground. It changes, metamorphosizes into like strong snow, which we call rounds, or weak snow, which we call facets. And all this happens with temperature and weather.
Hmm.
And it's like so important to our daily life and as working as guides in the mountains, but also just like being in the mountains here. Like last year and previous years, we've had avalanches hitting houses. Like
Yeah.
kind of a crazy atmosphere we live in here locally. And I just think it's the more you know about it, the less chance you're going to die in the mountains one day.
I would say like I've seen like a cultural shift in like the last decade plus where it's been like kind of trendy, hipster cool to have that awareness. Oh yeah, you're gonna want to ski with that guy. He really knows what's up. Like,
Especially if you just drop some classic terminology like the hottest one now, atmospheric river. Anytime you just talk about an atmospheric river, like your cool level probably increases times 10. These are called snowboards, which is kind of very poorly named because they're not like the traditional snowboard that you go down the mountain with. But these are what the meteorologists and snow professionals refer to as places where you collect snow and measure it every day. So I have
hmm
three of them.
I think I imagined something more state of the art.
Yeah, yeah. These are cutting boards with metal pipes screwed through them. This is more used in the summertime to measure rainfall. In the wintertime, we take this off and put this over a bunch of snow, slide a crystal card underneath it, flip it over, melt it, and then we figure out how much water is actually in that snow. And that's where the magic really lies, on snow density. Whether you're going to have a good time on Baldy or bad time. Or we measure it in ways to figure out if the avalanche hazards can be really high or lower.
JP, it is the goal of the Farmer's Almanac to be correct 51% of the time. How often are you correct?
Hmm. Well, based on everyone I talk to, I'm more correct than not.
Wait a minute. Pure affirmation
Yeah.
is how we're measuring this.
One of the models I look at is clouds to see how much is going to happen, and that can be like really hit or miss. You could
Sure.
totally, and I'm trying to forecast for like heat, like down South Valley all the way up to Stanley, and then like everything to the east and west.
How are you found on those various platforms?
Instagram is probably my most viewed thing, and that's Robbie RBBIE underscore Topo, TOPO. And then probably the most important one, but the least utilized, is YouTube. That is Central Idaho Mountain Weather. Please look it up. Click the subscribe button on there. I know it's really hard to do that.
Hey, thanks so much for being available.
Yeah, thanks for finally making this happen after 3 months. We got busy schedules. Yeah, now we got great weather forecast for the weekends. Northwest flow. Looks like Baldy's going to get hit with a little bit of snow.
You heard it here.
Oh, I did look to see how many followers you had compared to me, and I am winning.